Senators are struggling to break through a legislative stalemate on immigration, with centrists making a frantic push to find a deal that can win enough support to pass by the end of the week. The centrist senators on Wednesday said that they had finished the contours of an agreement that would protect Dreamers in exchange for more spending on border security. But in a sign of just how harried the push has become, the senators acknowledged that their plan was still in the drafting phase. Senator Jeff Lane Flake McConnell, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration. Huckabee Sanders, Dems need to decide if they hate Trump more than they love this country. Trump spokeswoman fires back at Flake, his numbers are in the tank. More, Republican Arizona, said they were tidying up the language. Advertisement clock is ticking. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell Addison, Mitchell McConnell. Dems confront Kelly after he calls some immigrants lazy. McConnell, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration overnight. Defense, latest on spending fight. House passes stopgap with defense money while Senate nears two-year budget deal. Pentagon planning military parade for Trump. Afghan war will cost B in 2018 more. RKY has made clear that he intends to move on from the immigration debate after this week, leaving little time for any faction to cobble together 60 votes for an immigration bill. The centrists appear to have the highest odds of success. If every Democrat supported the group's proposal, which is not guaranteed, the centrists would need the votes of 11 GOP senators for a bill to pass. Roughly a dozen Republicans have been taking part in the Common Sense Coalition talks. Our group from the very beginning has been committed to coming up with a bipartisan plan on immigration, and that's what it appears we've been able to do. Senator Susan Margaret Collins McConnell, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration. GOP senators turning Trump immigration framework into legislation. Longtime Clinton confidant blames Comey for 2016 loss. More, Republican Maine, who has been leading the talks, told reporters as she headed to a meeting in McConnell's office. The centrist plan is expected to protect 1.8 million Dreamers from deportation and provide $25 billion for border security. While it would prevent Dreamers from sponsoring a parent who knowingly brought them into the country illegally, it does not include the broader changes to legal immigration or interior enforcement favored by President Trump. Donald John Trump Tillerson, Russia already looking to interfere in 2018 midterms. Dems pick up deep red legislative seat in Missouri. Spire on Trump's desire for military parade. We have a Napoleon in the making. More in House Republicans. Collins wouldn't say whether the proposal has 60 votes, nor would Flake. This bipartisan bill we've been working on I think can get 60. I am not sure it will. It kind of depends on the order they come up to. Flake said. The centrist plan is certain to face strong opposition from parts of the Republican conference, not to mention the House and Trump. The White House has demanded that any immigration legislation include the 4 pillars that negotiators agreed to in January: a fix for the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA) program for immigrants who came to the U.S. as children, border security funding, and changes to family-based immigration in the State Department's diversity visa lottery. Undercutting the centrists, Trump on Wednesday threw his weight behind a rival immigration measure spearheaded by Senator Chuck Grassley. Ernest Grassley. Overnight cybersecurity. Tillerson proposes new cyber bureau at state. Senate bill would clarify cross-border data rules. Uber exec says no justification for covering up breach overnight finance. Senators near two-year budget deal. Trump would love to see a shutdown over immigration. Dow closes nearly 600 points higher after volatile day. Trade deficit at highest level since 2008. Plenty leaving Wall Street. Group Grassley to Sessions. Policy for employees does not comply with the law. More, Republican Iowa, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, which tracks closely with the White House's plan. I am asking all senators, in both parties, to support the Grassley bill and to oppose any legislation that fails to fulfill these 4 pillars. That includes opposing any short-term band-aid approach. Trump said in a statement. Immigration is a political lightning rod with the Republican base, and many GOP lawmakers are wary of opening themselves up to criticism by backing a bill that Trump doesn't support. If it doesn't have a reasonable treatment for each of the pillars, I couldn't support it, said Senator Tom Roland Tillis. Senate Republicans call on Trump to preserve NAFTA. McConnell, Mueller needs no protection from Trump press. Congress must protect Mueller from Trump. More, RNC. Meanwhile, in the House, Republican leaders on Wednesday announced they would formally begin whipping support for an immigration bill from Rep. Bob Goodlatte. William Goodlatte. Poised to reignite war over FBS Clinton case. Coons immigration bill sparks Trump backlash. What I've learned as a native-born dreamer, we are a nation of assimilated immigrants. More, Republican Virginia, that contains many conservative priorities. Goodlatte's bill would include a path to citizenship for 1.8 million immigrants brought into the country illegally as children, $25 billion in border security, tougher interior enforcement and new limits on legal immigration. What we always want to do in the House is have a House Republican position, which we can start from for negotiations. Speaker Paul Davis Ryan McConnell, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration overnight. Defense, latest on spending fight, House passes stopgap with defense money while Senate nears two-year budget deal, Pentagon planning military parade for Trump, Afghan war will cost B in 2018. House passes stopgap spending measure with defense money. More, Republican Wisconsin. Back in the Senate, the success or failure of immigration legislation could hinge on what comes up for a vote and when. Leadership could try to jam senators by forcing them to choose between either passing the Grassley measure or doing nothing on DACA. But Democrats, and some Republicans, want Trump's framework to be one of the first votes. The legislation isn't expected to get 60 votes, though Senator Joe Manchin McConnell, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration. Manchin, senators should sign pledge not to campaign against each other. GOP senators turning Trump immigration framework into legislation. More, DW. Virginia, up for re-election in 2018, has signaled he could support it. A failed vote on the Trump proposal could help build support for alternatives, some senators say. You need to ask me that after the Grassley bill falls short of 60, but the president deserves a vote. I think the Senate doesn't want to be seen as failing. But time will tell, said Senator Lindsey Graham. McConnell, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration overnight. Tech, Uber exec says no justification for covering up hack, Apple considers battery rebates, regulators talk Bitcoin, SpaceX launches world's most powerful rocket overnight. Cybersecurity, Tillerson proposes new cyber bureau at state, Senate bill would clarify cross-border data rules, Uber exec says no justification for covering up breach. More, RSC, asked why the bipartisan group's bill could pass. Senator Marco Antonio Rubio. Trump must send Russia powerful message through tougher actions. McCain, Coons immigration bill sparks Trump backlash, taking a strong stance to protect election integrity. More, Republican Florida, said the Grassley bill should be the first vote. Senator Lamar Alexander Sanders wants pharma CEOs to testify on opioid crisis. Trump expects us to trade clean air and water for updated infrastructure. House GOP warming to Obamacare fix. More, Republican Tennessee, echoed that stance, saying the sooner the better. But Senator John Cornyn Dems confront Kelly after he calls some immigrants lazy. McConnell, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration. GOP senators turning Trump immigration framework into legislation. More, Texas, the number 2 Senate Republican, said the Grassley measure would be the last proposal to get a vote, not the first, raising the possibility of a take-it-or-leave-it proposition. Grassley lashed out at Democrats for opposing his bill, saying they should support it after clamoring for months for a DACA fix. They could, he said, ultimately try to amend the framework before a procedural hurdle where it would again need 60 votes. Aren't you at a point where here the Democrats have been pleading for months and months and months for justice? Why would they turn it down? Asked Grassley, who appeared visibly frustrated and at times yelled at reporters. When a reporter noted that there wasn't unanimous Republican support for the plan, he added, "There's some Republicans that don't want to do anything on immigration." Senators have been divided for weeks over whether they should pass a bill that couldn't get a majority in the House, where Ryan says he will only bring up a bill Trump supports. It's got the best chance of getting through the House of Representatives, and it's the only one that you hear talked about that the president will sign. Grassley added. But supporters of the bipartisan measures counter that senators need to focus on what can pass their own chamber before worrying about the House GOP or Trump, who has sent mixed signals about his determination to help the Dreamers. We obviously care about the House and about the president's position, but we read the Senate. We have to get through this phase of the legislative process first, said Collins. Flake added, "We a separate branch. He can veto it or he can sign it. But we've got to pass it." McConnell made 4 proposals pending on Wednesday, a first step to moving to a vote: the Grassley bill, a separate plan from Senators Christopher Coons Andrew Coons overnight cybersecurity, Tillerson proposes new cyber bureau at state, Senate bill would clarify cross-border data rules, Uber exec says no justification for covering up breach, Hatch bill would dramatically increase H-1B visas live coverage, shutdown begins. More, D-Dell, and John Sidney McCain. McConnell, whoever gets to 60 wins on immigration. Meghan McCain, Melania is my favorite Trump, by far. Kelly says Trump not likely to extend DACA deadline. More, Republican Arizona, a proposal from Senator Pat Toomey Patrick, Pat, Joseph Toomey, top GOP candidate, drops out of Ohio Senate race. Newly declassified memos detail extent of improper Obama-era NSA spying. Overnight tech, FCC won't fine Colbert over Trump joke, Trump budget slashes science funding, net neutrality comment period opens more, ARPA, that would crack down on sanctuary cities, and a placeholder for the Collins proposal. McConnell had Republicans sign 4 blank cloture petitions during Tuesday's conference lunch, which allows him to force votes on amendments if Democrats continue to stymie him. But that would eat up days of time since, under Senate rules, they would need to have an intervening day before an initial vote. How the debate ends up playing out on the floor is anyone's guess. Republicans say the ball is in the court of the Democrats, who have twice blocked McConnell from scheduling votes. We've got the hall. We've got the people, but we can't make them debate. McCornan said. I am just sort of at a loss.